probably 20 years. Bring gas.
Welcome to Flagrant Howls, a Minnesota Timberwolves lifestyle podcast.
Flagrant Howls, it's Zolgad, it's Declan, no Mackey, but Darren Doogie Wolfson joins us as he does each Tuesday. And hold on a second, too, because I got to get my coffee cup. Declan's got his. Ooh, that's a nice roasted coffee cup.
Boom roasted. So it's all the
like
Michael Scott lines from the Boom Roasted episode of The Office.
I love it. Plenty to get to, including some reckless speculation that does not come from us. It comes from the outside NBA world and involves the Wolves and a very prominent player. But before we get to all that, I want to talk to you about barbecue season. Of course, it's here. It's July. It's a great time to barbecue. And that means it's time to talk about our friends at Safeside Barbecue, the best food truck in the West Metro. Fresh brisket right there, cut to order. Are you kidding me? 100% wood-fired smoking, juicy, savory, tender meat. No electric smokers or ovens are used. Everything homemade. The bread right there, made to order. How do you get it? It's easy as this. Check out SafesideBBQ.com or go to their Facebook page for where they're going to be next. Their food truck, absolutely, positively outstanding, and the best, again, in the West Metro. All right, Dukes, let's start here. So the dreams of Kevin Durant are gone. The 7-trade team, which is ridiculous, is now complete. But the new name that has popped up, because it sounds like he's going to be bought out by the Phoenix Suns, is Bradley Beal, who's been tied to a handful of teams, including the Timberwolves. How much credence do you give, and what do your spies tell you about Bradley Beal possibly coming to Target Center?
Well, I mean, this front office does its due diligence. I mean, my understanding is they've at least kicked the tires previously, like well before now, on the idea of acquiring Bradley Beal. Now, in the words of a high-ranking league official who I trust wholeheartedly last night, it's not happening. This person has Beal on his way to the Los Angeles Clippers. But the Wolves, at least inquiring, seeing, now we can debate, is Beal a fit? What would his role be here? We can certainly have that back and forth. But when you see the Clippers move Norman Powell, and I get it, there was reluctance in giving Norman a long-term extension. But when you see that 3-team deal on Monday take place, Norman Powell ends up in Miami. Good move for Miami, by the way. And John Collins ends up with the Clippers. Okay, it looks like the Clippers have this obvious opening now. I'm just saying, it's not just this high-ranking league official. Others across the league firmly believe that Bradley Beal will eventually be a Los Angeles Clipper.
Dukes, Beal, though, is more of a, correct me if I'm right here with being a hoops head, he's more of a shooting guard than he is a point guard, right? So this wouldn't fill the Mike Conley, this wouldn't be a swapping of him with Mike Conley or getting a new point guard in Beal. This would be still a solid guy who can still hit down some shots, maybe not as good as he was in his prime, with Washington, but this wouldn't be a true ball handler, right? This would just be another weapon with Anthony Edwards, or can he bring up the ball a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, accurate, Declan. Everything you laid out initially. Yeah, I mean, he's an all-time scorer. Now, I'm not suggesting he's Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, but he was buried in Washington, right? Like, just nationally, I'm not sure the spotlight was on Bradley Beal in his prime the way it should have been. I mean, I remember him at Florida. I mean, just a fantastic scorer. So, yes, he's not somebody that's on the ball. But I'm telling you, like, at different times, DiVincenzo can be on the ball initiating the offense. Ant is going to initiate the offense plenty. Whatever we think of Mike Conley Jr., he's here. He's not going anywhere. He is going to play. We just have laid out the minutes are going to diminish. So instead of playing 29 minutes a game, it might be more like 22 minutes a game. Instead of playing 72 games, it might be more like 65 games. So his minutes, his games played is going to go down, but Mike still has a role, and at times, I think a significant role on this team. Plus, like Rob Dillingham, the time is now. Like, we were over at Summer League practice on Monday. I get it. It's rookie Johan Beranger, but he was loving talking up playing with Rob Dillingham. Like, there's going to be some sort of leap, and there are going to be warts. He is going to turn the ball over. But the time is now. They realize that. But are they still on the lookout? They are. I'm not sure they're like uber aggressive in terms of trying to find the right ball handling guard. They could still pivot and sign a big, although I'm yet to hear of any firm offers being made. But certainly this front office doing its due diligence. I wouldn't be shocked at some point if they stumble into a guard. Let me clarify one thing, though. I've seen some people wonder about Bones Highland. He is not eligible for a two-way contract anymore. So the Wolves' two-way contracts will be Zakarski, Edwards, the big from West Virginia who was here last year. Then the hope is that Tristan Newton puts pen to paper on the two-way qualifying offer. The Wolves extended him. I checked again this morning. He's yet to do that, but the hope is that Tristan Newton is back on a two-way. So those would be the three players on a two-way. But I suppose if the Wolves swing and miss, remember last year they brought in PJ Dozier relatively late in the offseason. That was a partial guarantee. It fully guaranteed, like what, second week of January, somewhere in the January 10th range. Well, the Wolves cut the cord. They didn't want to commit a full guarantee to PJ Dozier. You could do that with Bones Highland. But just to clarify, the Wolves cannot sign Bones Highland to a two-way contract.
So, Dukes, two-part question off of the point guard discussion, okay? First of all, I agree with you. Dillingham's a top 10 pick. He's going into his second year. There needs to be a level of we need to find out. But the first part of my question is that's not up to us. That's up to Chris Finch. How much do you trust that Chris Finch will put up with a bad turnover here, a bad game there? And then the second one is, I'm with you totally. You've got guys that can bring the ball up the court. And in fact, that worked in the regular season. At least you made the playoffs, worked in the first two rounds, but then you get to OKC and that became a problem. Like I'm thinking in terms here of not can you win in December. I'm thinking in terms of can you, because you're back-to-back Western Conference finalist who's lost both times, do you have the ammunition? Do you have the team to win in the springtime when it counts most? So one, what do you think Finch is going to be told as far as you need to trust Rob a little bit more? And two, what is your concern, not about Mike Conley in January, but about like Mike Conley and company when we get to May?
All right, well, on what Finch will be told, pretty much nothing outside of a recommendation, hey, extend the leash. We want to see what Rob can do a bit more. But it's not like it's micromanagement where Tim is like, you need to play. This isn't Gerson Rosas with Ryan Saunders, okay? I promise you that. That was pretty direct. Ryan, you will do this. This is how you will work your lineup. No, that is not happening right now at Mayo Clinic Square. Chris Finch will divvy up the minutes how he sees fit. But sure, a recommendation that, hey, entering year two, let's see if he can do a bit more. In terms of next April, it's not just OKC. Like, to me, Denver is significantly better. Houston is going to be good. If the Clippers land Bradley Beal, along with Brook Lopez, I think they'll miss Powell. Don't get me wrong. And hey, Kawhi Leonard, always an injury question mark, even James Harden at his age. But the Clippers, let's not forget, that was a fun series with the Nuggets. Went 7 games. Like, the Clippers are not far away. Whatever you think of DeAndre Ayton, that's a good get for the Lakers. And hey, you talk to people with the Blazers, there were some question marks there. Work ethic, a lot of things, right? But now under the tutelage of LeBron James, others with the Lakers, like, that's a really good get on that contract. A full year of Luka Doncic. And so you look at the West, it is just not slowing down. The idea, Judd, is Ant has another level he can get to. Jaden McDaniels has another level he can get to. Heck, Naz Reid has another level he can get to. The Julius Randle we saw the final 20-ish games of the regular season, through the Lakers series, through the Warriors series, at times in the Thunder series, that there's more there, or at least that version of Julius Randle will show up a lot more next season. That's how they win the West. At this point, when you go to back-to-back Western Conference Finals, credit to them, they've raised the bar. We now need to see them crush through that door, get to the NBA Finals. Like, that's the bar for me next season. Like, if you don't win the West, we can absolutely have the conversation that it'll be a disappointing season. But anybody you're signing right now, even if they somehow landed Bradley Beal, like, that's not putting you over the top. It's just not. There is nobody currently available on the free agent market. Now, if we want to have some trade chatter, okay. But then you're moving DiVincenzo or someone else. So you're disrupting your core. But I'm just saying, if you look at the current free agent market, I mean, free agency was pretty blah overall. If you look at the current market, there isn't anybody that's moving the needle, certainly significantly. Do I think Malcolm Brogdon would help? Yes. Hey, Damian Lillard out for the season, but if you could get a 2-year commitment from Lillard, thinking about the 26-27 season, sure, sign me up. Heck, I'm biased, but Amir Coffey would absolutely help the Wolves. Whoever lands Amir Coffey is about to get a steal. He won't be back, it doesn't look like, with the LA Clippers. Now, the Wolves have not reached out on Amir Coffey. I checked again this morning. I hope that changes, but that's just the case. But I'm just saying, there isn't an available free agent. There just isn't. Chris Boucher, like, could he be an 8th, 9th man? Sure. Like, there are guys, don't get me wrong, but there's nobody that's going to change the dynamic big time. That's why I'm telling you, you go back to the Kevin Durant talk, right? It was about April. It was about May. Okay, KD, give us 65-ish games in the regular season. We need you in tip-top shape come mid-April. We think you, as this elite second scorer next to Ant, can elevate us. And I'll continue to go back to that interest. The interest from February, the interest now. Why so badly did the front office want to acquire Kevin Durant? How much true faith do they have in this roster that they can make a significant run late into May?
Dukes, you brought up Malcolm Brogdon there, who's another name the Wolves have been tied to. So a veteran point guard. He's 32 going on 33. He'll be 33 in December. Has missed a lot of time with injuries throughout his career. I mean, to you, if it was just Brogdon or Conley, is it a wash? Is it basically the same thing? I know Brogdon's certainly younger than Conley, but if that was a switch, would that be something you'd be interested in? Or at the end of the day, to what you're just kind of pointing to, does it really push the Wolves forward into being more championship contenders? Probably not. Where would you fall if it was Brogdon or Conley as your starting point guard for next year?
Well, Mike Conley Jr., because he's more facilitator. But Malcolm is what, 2 years removed? You can look this up, Declan. Was he the 6th man of the year two seasons ago, the season before Nas?
With Boston, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's not far removed from playing at a darn high level. But he's more a scorer, but he's also a guy that understands his role. Like, sign me up for Malcolm Brogdon. But I think if you're Austin Brown, if you're Ty Sullivan, the representation for Malcolm Brogdon, why exactly are you sending your client here? With everything we laid out, DiVincenzo able to initiate offense. Anthony Edwards is going to initiate a ton of offense. Okay, the idea that Rob Dillingham is going to play more, that there is a Mike Conley Jr. role. I'm just saying, if you're representing Malcolm Brogdon, because you're looking at roughly the same offers. Yeah, the Wolves have this $5 million exception, but probably more so interested in giving Brogdon the vet minimum. With all his years of experience, he could make $3.5 million. The cap hit would be, 2.2, whatever it is with Joe Ingles. Essentially the same thing. That would be the idea. So even if you could offer $1 million-ish more, right? I'm sure Brogdon is looking for more than that right now, but in the end ends up signing for the vet minimum. Why exactly is Brogdon choosing here? But the idea, Declan, of Malcolm Brogdon being here, yeah, I think he'd be fine as an 8th, 9th type man. Also a guy that isn't going to play 75-ish games. That would be a long shot. So you start divvying up minutes and games and all that. Yeah, like, I'm on board. Yes. I'd love to see Malcolm Brogdon here, but I don't think it's going to happen.
So, Dukes, the Wolves Summer League starts 2:30 in the afternoon. On Thursday, they play the Pelicans, ESPN2. Here's my question. How much do you expect the core guys, Shannon, Dillingham, Jalen Clark, to play? And second of all, now that it's about to start, what do you think the importance is? It's clearly not, it's basketball, it's Summer League. You like to get a look at your draft picks for sure. There's certain young guys who are hoping to make an impression. But when it comes to three guys like that who have the team made but are going, and in Dillingham's case, still has plenty to prove starting at least in training camp, what do you think they want to see there?
Yeah, I mean, I'd even group Leonard Miller into that mix. I mean, he's here. It's a fully guaranteed contract. I'm on board with Leonard perhaps playing a bit more. Playing at all, heck. But sure, I get where you're coming from with just saying those three names. I will be shocked if Terrence Shannon Jr. plays every game. There's no reason for him to play every game. He'll be 25 years old in 3 weeks. This is in many ways a veteran basketball player because he played so many years in college, Texas Tech into Illinois. Heck, he was playing in the playoffs. Think about his presence in the OKC series. Terrence Shannon Jr. doesn't need to play 28 minutes a game for 4, 5, 6 games, however long they end up making a run in Vegas. Like, there's no reason. And so I'll be shocked. I don't have that nailed down, but I'll be shocked if Terrence Shannon Jr. plays every game. Heck, I'll be relatively shocked if Jalen Clark plays every game. I'm not sure he needs to either, but you'd like to see Jalen maybe on the ball a little bit. He's been working on his ball handling, his shooting, so encourage him to take a few more shots compared to a regular season game. On Dillingham, I think you give him a pretty long runway. Not a super, super long runway, but I think you play him relatively good minutes. And you want to see the basketball IQ. You want to see the decision-making, the fast decision-making, involving his teammates. Just, somewhat, effort-wise. I mean, I get it. It's Summer League, so you're not going to overly analyze effort, but just showing that he cares. And he does. I mean, you talk to people with the Wolves. I mean, he's over at Mayo Clinic Square a lot. He's putting in the work. We could have the conversation. Is he putting in the right work? For the most part, I think he is. I have no reason to think that Rob Dillingham is going to fail.
Laquan Treadwell? But he's running stairs when he doesn't need to. He's not catching passes. Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, it's a good memory. Laquan Treadwell, who's still in the NFL. God love his agent. How's Laquan Treadwell going on year 10 in the NFL?
All I know is I want Dillingham, back to your point, I want Dillingham working on the things that you should work on. Rob, you not work on things that we know that you can do.
Yeah,
okay,
I don't want to insinuate
good.
that he's not.
I was very concerned.
He absolutely, he absolutely is. I'm just saying, does Rob Dillingham need to play 30 minutes, 4 or 5 straight games in Vegas? Probably not. That's why they have a roster of whatever it is, 12, 13 guys. At some point, you can play some of the other guys. Hey, Kevin Hansen, as far as I know, the Wolves Summer League coach, uber competitive, but there's no reason to go chase a Summer League championship. It doesn't matter. If you stumble into that, fine, but there's no set goal. Let's go to Vegas to absolutely win the Summer League. It's about all that stuff, including practices. They'll get some really good practice time. They'll bring some of their current players out there to, put in some work and go through some workouts with their developmental coaches. So, it'll be kumbaya in Vegas for the Wolves organization. I also imagine in Vegas, I was texting with an assistant coach friend earlier this week. He's like, yeah, things are relatively quiet, at least on my front when it comes to the Wolves. But hey, we're all about to go to Vegas. And when you put everybody in the same city, chatter starts to rise. And so, we'll hear some stuff. There's some free agents that will, do some workouts in Vegas that the Wolves may send a front office exec to go watch. But just with all the agents out there, maybe even some free agent visits, not necessarily with the Wolves, but you get the idea that when everybody is in Vegas for those 10-ish days, starting on Thursday or even there starting tomorrow, and hey, It's not like a lot of these executives are there for the full 10, 11 days, but you're in the same city for multiple days. Like, there's going to be pretty healthy dialogue. So I imagine we'll start to hear maybe some stuff with the Wolves, maybe not by Thursday, but into next week and then certainly the following week.
This is Flagrant Howls, by the way. Hit the like button and subscribe button. We launched a brand new YouTube channel a little over a month ago. You guys have helped us get already almost 6,000 subscribers, so thank you very much. Dukes, I think it was your colleague and Go Huskies Woo, Alec Osmus, who was at shoot-around, I believe, on Sunday. Anything that stood out from that, as I think he talked to Minot or talked to Dillingham and TSJ, but I know we had some preview there, but anything stand out from that shoot-around that you guys were at over the weekend?
Yeah, and happy for Minot. Good for him. I hope Boston gives him some good run. But yeah, Alec was there on Sunday, had a chance to speak with Terrence Shannon Jr., with Rob Dillingham. So that was after, call it a workout, a light summer league practice. Maybe they ran a little bit, but yeah, nothing like too strenuous. But it was a summer league practice. So they're practicing for a few days before they leave for Vegas Wednesday afternoon. And yeah, as you mentioned, Judd, the first game Thursday afternoon, 2:30 Central against the New Orleans Pelicans. I guess just that Terrence Shannon Jr. said, hey, I haven't proven anything. So, like, you can tell, like, he realizes, okay, had some moments my rookie year, but I still need to put a lot of work in. There's still a lot of things I need to do to firmly establish myself as a regular rotation guy. Now, Chris Finch is on the record saying, I need to play Terrence Shannon Jr. more. It's going to happen. But Terrence has the right mindset, like, hey, nothing is promised. Then in the conversation with Rob Dillingham, and hey, shameless plug, that entire conversation is on the KSTP.com sports page. Plus, you can hear from Beranger from Monday. But yeah, certainly Sunday, Dillingham and Shannon Jr. Dillingham saying all the right things too, right? Like, hey, putting in the work. I see the opportunity in front of me. Like, if you're Rob, okay, through your representation, you might be hearing that the Wolves have been tire kicking on some guys, but I'm telling you, like, I've yet to hear of a firm offer. Like, tire kicking on Spencer Dinwiddie. In the end, my understanding is no firm offer was made. Like, the interest in Jordan Clarkson was legit, but that thing happened really fast for him to end up with the New York Knicks. In fact, actually committed to the Knicks before they officially hired Mike Brown. But, like, the Wolves' interest in Clarkson, from what I can gather, was legit, but I've yet to hear of, like, this firm offer being made. So if you're Dillingham, you look at it and say, okay, the time is now. Like, this is a wonderful opportunity. I need to seize this opportunity. There are a bunch of minutes to be had. Now, maybe some games it's more like 6 to 8 minutes, but some games it may be 18 to 22 minutes. And so he's got the right mindset. That's in part why I would certainly bet on Dillingham. We can debate what the ceiling is for Rob Dillingham. I don't know how high the ceiling is with that body type, right? Like, we've made the comparison to, you think about Bones Highland, his rookie year with the Denver Nuggets. Like, is that perhaps the ceiling for Rob Dillingham? Like, when you're that small, like, how good can you truly be? We can have that back and forth. But I would bet on Rob carving out some sort of niche, some sort of role. But he certainly is willing to, do everything he can to seize that opportunity. So to me, he handled himself very well on Sunday.
Speaking of it, before we get to the final Wolves notes, speaking of the Summer League, that also means it's hot outside. It's muggy outside, and that means that you want your house to be as comfortable as possible. And how do you get there? Well, if your AC is on the fritz or it's just not working to full capacity, call MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air, because they are going to get your AC working again and in 100% condition. $49 AC tune-up is a no-brainer for a peace of mind. Repairs, installs, reliable service. That's what they're all about. Speaking from firsthand experience, they've been to my house a couple times. They do great work. Ask about their Total Comfort Club membership too, and know that your system will be taken care of all year long. That means, yes, not only the AC, but also when it gets cold outside, the heating. just go to callmsp.com or give them a call, 651-615-4292. Call msp.com to make sure that your house is as comfortable as it can possibly be this summer. All right, Dukes, your final Wolves Flagrant Howl notes and scoops. What do you got for us?
All right, well, a reminder, Friday is the Mark Lowry, Alex Rodriguez official introductory news conference in Las Vegas, introducing them as the majority owners. They are going to make a ton of rounds media-wise. Now, it's Doogie's state tournament this weekend, so that trumps all. I'm not going to Vegas on Friday, but my understanding is at least one local TV station going. Oh, I would have thought about it, but just timing-wise, it doesn't match up. But the opportunity was there to sit down with Mark and Alex. So after the news conference, if I gone out there, sure, I would have gotten an on-camera sit-down interview with both. That's my point, that they are going to make the rounds. You are going to see Mark and Alex everywhere on Friday. NBA Today on ESPN. Some sort of NBA Entertainment / NBA TV national interview. They'll do a roundtable with writers. And so this is after the news conference. So they will go on a mini media tour Friday after the news conference, plus certainly answer plenty of questions during the news conference. Former majority owner Glenn Taylor spoke with our friend David Shamma recently. Now, I've tried to reach out to Glenn. More so, I've done a lot of phone interviews with Glenn. I'd love to get him on camera. So I said, hey, can I come down to Mankato? Can we do something? Not quite there yet. I'm hopeful maybe eventually that can take place, but right now, no. But David tracked down Glenn on the phone. The one headline, because there wasn't a whole lot there to me, but the one headline, Glenn said, and hey, it's on my list of things to do to confirm this with Alex and or Mark, but that they paid Glenn more than the 151. I don't know how much more, but that Glenn got a bit more money. And so was that done so he didn't try to appeal the decision at the federal level, even though it was, binding and all that? But I don't know all the inner workings. I'm just saying Glenn has suggested that he received more than the reported $1.51 billion. The Naz Reid, Julius Randle contracts have not officially been filed yet. You haven't seen an official press release. So they haven't put pen to paper quite yet. So I don't have the terms. Like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, it was initially reported 4 years, $62 million. Well, that has been filed. It's close. It's 4 years, $60.6 million. Still a heck of a deal for Naw. He also, we learned with the filing of the contract, that the fourth year is a player option. We also learned there's a 7.5% trade kicker. So it's important when these contracts are filed to get all those details. But so far, the Naz Reid and Julius Randle contracts, not that there's any issues, it's going to happen. Probably happens in the next 24 to 48 hours, but just so far, those contracts have not been filed with the Players Association.
There he is, Darren Doogie Wolfson here on Flagrant Howls. You can find him also on KSTP as well. Dukes, we appreciate your insight as always, my man. We'll be talking on Thursday too.
Okay, sounds good, boys. We'll talk on Thursday. Take it easy.
Appreciate you, Dukes. Flagrant Howls, your favorite Timberwolves lifestyle podcast.